In this tutorial, I will show you how I color this cozy coffee shop. In the description box is a link to where you can download the line art and sketch for free. But if you like it and wanna support me, feel free to make a small donation. I'm trying to fix up my tiny art studio, as right now it is held together by tape, dreams and coffee. I will also film the whole renovation process so you can see where the donations are going. In the file you will find what materials I will use in this video. If you don't know how to transfer the sketch to watercolor paper, I put a link to video where I show you how to do it in the description. These are the two brushes I will use throughout the video, but mostly I will use the small flat brush as I draw on an A5 size paper and all the details are tiny. So let's start. I always have all of the colors already prepared on the palette, but you can do what you are used to do or whatever is easier for you. I will start with the yellow and color the facade first. It would be easier with bigger brush, but I don't want to color over the details, so I am coloring with my flat size 2 brush. The main thing to focus on is don't let the area dry out completely before you move on with it. Then you will see this line between the dry and the wet area when they both are dry, and you want it to be even wash throughout the whole facade. Also, I am drawing wet on dry technique. I usually never wet the paper first, I just start drawing. But if you like to wet your paper and then do the coloring, do that. But I use this method. Also, I wanted to tell you that on April 30, I will launch a class on Etcher where I will show you mini exercises that will help improve your watercolor and ink. And I will show you how to sketch, ink and color the whole shop from start to finish. So if that is something you are interested in, then on April 30 I will have all the info probably on my Instagram. But for now, I hope you are getting on with coloring the facade. If you miss a spot, don't worry, color it in later, because I did miss a spot myself and noticed it only later. After I have finished with the facade, I will color in some of the details, like this coffee cup in the shop's sign, then also few of the flower pots too. And at this point you need to think of where your light source will be. Mine will be shining from the left side, so I am leaving a little white spot as a highlight. But if you don't leave the spot, don't worry, you can fill it in later with the white pen. Now I am using the raw sienna and coloring in few of the wooden details, like this standing chalkboard sign, also the coffee table, and few other bits. Now I am using amber brown. And for this sign, as it has a long line, you also need to be careful and not let dry out one section before you are moving on with it. Then for the hanging sign, I wanted it a little bit lighter in the middle and darker around the edges, so I am adding a bit more water onto the page, but it was already a bit too dry. As you can see, it is not blending out as much. But my end goal is to make it lighter in the middle and darker around the edges. So while it is still wet, I will be adding more color onto the right side, because that would be more in the shadow. Now I am using the brick brown, and I will show you how to get dimension on the flower pots by adding layers. I will color in just 3 right now, but I will use the same technique for all of the flower pots that are not colored in yellow or brown. So the first layer, I am coloring the same as the yellow flower pots. I leave a little white spot on the left side or the side where your sun is shining from. Then you need them to dry a bit before adding the second layer. You will see that the color will not be as shiny when it's dry. So I am now adding the second layer with the same color, but focusing more on the right side because that will be in the shadow. Then also I will let this layer dry. If you are working on all the flower pots at the same time, so if you start with one and with another, then the first one will already be dry. And the third layer, I am adding the amber brown. So it's darker than the brick brown, and it will be even darker, and it will make the flower pot look more dimensional. So I will do this with all the red flower pots. Next will be the greenery. So I will also work in layers. I will show you just few of them, but you will get the point. So the first layer, I am using olive green with a little bit sap green mixed in it. Then I let the layer dry. Next, I am adding a mix of olive green and sap green, but this time there is more sap green, so it's darker green. Few of the leaves I am coloring completely, and on few of them I am adding a line more to the right side. Then I let the layer dry and adding even smaller line with more sap green just to the right side. So it's like, you can see it's looking dimensional. So I will do this with all the leaf plants. With these scribbly plants, I am also adding the first layer of olive green with bit of sap green. And here on this plant where the flowers are, be careful not to color over the flowers. And of course, let the first layer dry. When the first layer is dry, I will add the mix of sap green, olive green, but a bit more sap green, more onto the right side, because that will be in the shadow, and just a few dabs between the flowers. And once this layer is dry, then I will add another layer with a bit more sap green, but even less little dots here and there. So it will make the leaves look really in shadow. So you want the previous layers to show through, and just a bit of dab here and there, just to add dimension. So do this for all the plants. Now I will add dimension for the yellow flower pots. First layer was already there. Now I am adding the second layer of yellow. Then I let it dry, and the third layer will be raw sienna. And if you don't like the harsh lines, you can take a clean wet brush and blend it out a bit, so the lines isn't as harsh. But if you like them, leave them as they are. And you can see, the flower pot looks very dimensional. And of course, add a bit of dark brown where the ground is. For the wooden flower pots, as the second layer, I am adding burnt umber, also focusing more on the right side because that is in the shadow. Then I am blending it with clean wet brush. Not very wet, but just a little bit, so it blends nicely. And then I will let the layer dry. Oh, for more interest, while this is still wet, you can drop in some burnt sienna, like a mix of browns in one flower pot. While the pot is drying, I will color in the flowers with the red color. And once the pot has dried, I am adding burnt umber mixed a bit with sepia, so it's a really dark brownish color. And I am focusing just on the right side and also on these lines. Now I will color in some details with dunes mixed together with yellow ochre. So like a light beigey color this will be. For the awning, I am leaving the first stripe empty, that will be red later, and I am coloring the second stripe. Then the next one will be red, and I am coloring the next one. So one empty, one color, one empty, one color. When the light awning stripes are dry, then you can move to the red color. So all the empty stripes I am coloring in with red, and I will let all the red dry before adding the second layer. So to make the awning look more dimensional on all the red stripes, I will add more color onto the right side, like the second layer of red, to make it more vibrant, saturated, dimensional, and then blend with white clean brush. For the light stripes, I will use the same Dunes yellow ochre mix, but this time a bit more yellow ochre into the mix, and also blend it out so it's not as harsh, and do this for all the stripes. Then you can add even more dimension to the stripes. If you want, you can add darker red, little lines, dots here and there, but like focusing just on the right side. And the same for the light stripes, but here I am using just yellow ochre. For the ground, I am using a really light layer of raw sienna, which means I use more water than the color in the mix, and here I use my bigger round brush, which is size 11, so it is easier to cover the area. Then when it's dry, not like completely, I want to add a bit more raw sienna where it would be shadow, like add interest. Now I am adding warm gray to this little step at the door, and while the layer is still wet, I will add a bit of raw sienna just to like make the step and ground come together. Now with a bit more raw sienna, I am coloring in these little rocks at the ground, and also I will add little stripes on the ground outside of the lines. Also with the green, I will color in this little grass and add some dots here and there, so this will look like fallen leaves. I will be adding another layer of amber brown because I want to darken the chair. But if you are happy with how the chair looks, then you don't need to do this. Then I will add burnt amber, but to like make the chair look also more dimensional. So I'm focusing more on the shadow side. So at the top, those would be the bottom part of those planks that are at the top. Also, you can add some dots, lines to make the chair look more with a texture. So for all the black parts, I am using black mixed with sepia. because I like my black a bit warmer, so I usually mix them together. And here also you want to you want to keep a little highlight in the first layer. Don't color like everything, leave a little highlight. Then when it's dry, I am adding a second layer, but showing the first layer through, just like we did with the flower pots. And when it's dry, I will add like a tiny line just on the right side to make this table leg look more dimensional. The same I will do for all the details that will be in black. I will work on layers, let the first one dry, then add the second to make it more dimensional. And in the file you have the finished artwork as reference, so you can see what I colored in what color. For the shop's name, I chose sap green and then just carefully color in the letters. You can also not do the inky coffee shop. You can add your name. Well, I needed to say it at the start, but yeah, you don't need to write inky. You can write your name there and make it your own coffee shop. For the pillow, I am adding a pinkish color. I am using sweet red, really watered down, and I also am not covering all the pillow because while I was coloring it looked too dark, so I am adding just clean water to blend it out because I wanted the pillow to be really light, and while it's still wet I added a bit of yellow also. And then I let the pillow dry, and once it is dry I will add this pattern with the red color onto the pillow. For the coffee cup, I am using sky blue. Pretty much the same thing as with the flower pots. Leave a little highlight, let the first layer dry, add another layer with the same color, and then you can add the third layer with a bit more darker blue. The windows I will color in with the sky blue, and also the window that is inside the door. And as you can see, the posters I colored in yellow, green and red, and you can see that I added the second layer of the green red, and I will also add yellow later, like a little triangle, so the poster will look more dimensional. I will show you how I color one of the lamps, but I will do the same for all of them. So for the first layer, I use sap green. I will use the same technique as for everything layering. I will leave little highlight on the lamp part, on the left side where the sun is shining on. And for the inside part, I will add yellow and Also green. Yellow where the light bulb is, and green around the edge. So the lamp is like shining, but you can also see the green, and blend together with clean wet brush. Then when the first layer is dry, I will add a second layer of sap green with more yellow in the inside. When that is dry, I will add the third layer, and I mixed the sap green with a bit more blue, so the blue made the sap green a bit darker. I left the door at the end because I couldn't decide if I wanted brown or green, but I decided I want it to be brown. So the first layer is amber brown. I am coloring everything with the amber brown. Then I will let the first layer dry completely. And while it's drying, I decided I will add bricks onto the facade. We will get to that a bit later. So while the door is drying, I am using yellow with a bit of raw sienna together and just adding bricks here and there throughout all of the facade, just like scatter random bricks. Now I am adding the second layer of amber brown to the door, but I am not coloring everything. I want to keep the frames as they are. Don't color over like the frames, like around the window and here on the door panels, those frames. Don't color those in. So we are now at the shadows. On the windows, I will use Payne's Gray or use like dark blue, and all the objects will make the shadow onto their right side. If the sun is on the left, it will shine on the object and the object will make the shadow onto the right. So you can see in the window frames what I'm doing now. Also onto bottom, like right bottom side. And I am also drawing a shadow from the flower pot. So just make a similar shape as the greenery and the pot and draw that on. For the rest of the shadows, I will be using sepia. It's like a darkish brown and I think it looks nice as a shadow. So everything will cast a shadow to bottom and to the right side. So you can see what I'm doing. Also see the reference photo I added in the file and I hope it will help you. Here on the door, I added 2 layers of shadow because the first one dried and I think it was looking too light for the shadow, so I let it dry, add 1 more layer. So you can, like if you are not happy with your shadow, add another layer, but it's always easier with watercolors to start lighter and then add more layer, more color, because you won't be getting lighter if you are adding like a dark layer of color. Well, you can, but it will be more difficult than to start with the light layer and then just add a second layer. And after the shadows are complete and dry, when everything is dry, then I will take my white ink pen. I am using Gelly Roll pen and I will add highlights, so everything on the left side will get a little highlight where I didn't leave a white spot. And that is all. Also, don't forget to add your text in the chalkboard. And I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you want, you can share your art on Instagram and tag me so I can see it. And have a nice day. Thank you for watching.